I really enjoyed Project Hail Mary. It's a heartwarming and hopeful sci-fi tale of friendship and camaraderie. And you got your saving the world aspect too. I haven't read the book, but I liked the movie so much that I've got a copy on the way. From a visual standpoint, this movie did not disappoint, especially on the big IMAX screen. Space travel, the starships, the aliens, the planets were awesome. And from what I gather, a significant chunk of the movie was shot practically. So I was pretty impressed with how immersive the sets were, and how convincing they made zero gravity look. Rocky being practical effects and puppetry was really cool too, but more on him later. The soundtrack and score were quite good. Definitely complimentary to the lighthearted and generally positive feel of the movie. The parts of absolute silence worked effectively as well. There were only maybe 2 or 3 sequences where the mixing between the dialogue and the score made it a bit tough to understand. Now the movie is long. You definitely feel the 2-hour and 36-minute runtime. As mentioned earlier, I was fully immersed and bought in for the whole movie. Being a sci-fi fan, I already have an affinity for this kind of thing though. But the setup, and really the first 2/3 of the movie, are quite strong. The dire situation of Earth and its dying sun is made simple enough to understand. This microscopic alien cell life form, called the Esahcregaj, is absorbing energy from the sun, killing it and consequently everything else in our solar system. And the Esahcregaj are also affecting numerous amounts of other suns in the universe, except one. So the expedition and investigation of this seemingly unaffected star is of the utmost importance to Earth. The science is quite a bit to digest, and the movie does ask the audience to make pretty significant leaps in their suspension of disbelief. From what I heard, the book offers a lot more detail on the scientific aspect of things. But the film does a good job at making these concepts and the technology believable. It builds out the world and the plot in such an effective way where these logical leaps aren't drastic and don't break the verisimilitude of the story. It does help that the overall tone of the movie is jovial, hopeful, and light. And the dynamic of telling the story in the present day and flashing back to the events leading up to the mission were interwoven effectively as well. There are plenty of comedic moments and jokes throughout the film. A lot of them worked for me. I do think they could have dialed back a touch about halfway through the second act, as things got more serious.
It is time go.
I think you mean go time, pal.
Overall though, the movie did really well at balancing the serious moments and the ones with more levity. The third act is a bit of a clunky ending though. There were several points where it felt like the movie was going to end, and then it kept going to tell more. I didn't mind it as I was engaged with the story, but it is a part of the film where you really felt the runtime. Project Hail Mary is truly a feel-good tale that takes you on a cavalcade of emotions. The visual spectacles can speak for themselves, but man, there were a couple of moments that got me choked up and worried for our characters, and dare I say, even a little misty-eyed.
It's now or never.
The characters are really what make a story like this work, and on that front, Project Hail Mary delivers. Ryan Gosling is our brilliant, charismatic, and brazen scientist of Dr. Ryland Grace. He did really well in this film, and I was impressed with the dynamism of his performance. The strengths and flaws of his character are made clear early on in the film, and the reluctant hero redemptive arc that he goes through is good, but by the time we got to the big reveal in the third act of why he's on the ship, I found it a bit underwhelming. since the rest of the movie already telegraphed what this dynamic was going to be. So it wasn't really subversive or surprising, and didn't pack the emotional wallop that the movie seemed like it wanted to have. I'm not entirely sure where you'd put it though, since the flashback scenes are seemingly implemented to not only serve the narrative purpose of context for the story, but also act as a proxy for Ryland Grace regaining his memory. It's something that I'll have to sit on and think about some more. What does pack an emotional wallop though is Rocky. Who'da thunk that this rock spider creature would be my favorite part of the movie? He was absolutely delightful. I loved how Dr. Grace and Rocky discovered the ability to communicate. The dynamic between their personalities was so enjoyable. It was cool seeing both of them contribute to the mission of saving their worlds, and that both characters had important roles to play. The friendship they develop really moves your heart. Even though Rocky's dialogue was simplistic, it was still very impactful and powerful when it needed to be. This movie deserves a lot of credit at being able to endear the audience to a non-humanoid alien creature. A brief mention on the side characters of the military and the scientists, they were great too. The light-hearted and comedic elements of the story certainly worked in their favor. And that's the gist for my spoiler-free thoughts on Project Hail Mary. This was a very good movie. I certainly think that it's worthy of the praise that it's been getting, though it is getting close to the point of being overhyped. Our main characters of Dr. Grace and Rocky have a heartwarming dynamic, and the friendship they develop truly shines in this hopeful story about saving the world. I highly recommend that you go watch Project Hail Mary, and if you can, check it out on IMAX. And in the meantime, I'll be seeing how it lives up to the book. Hit me up, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll catch you next time on The Gist.